Okay, it looks like it could be working. So, okay, so that up there shows you how many people are here, which is 0, because there's no one here. And the thumbs up, and that's how long you've been going live. So see, I do sit here and talk to myself when you watch this in the video. So, now, can I change cameras while it's going? Let's see if that's the old microphone. What that does. That does something. Okay. Is that better? That seems to work better. Now, what does this do over here? Yeah, so we're trying to work out this live stream. Now I just realised I don't have to type a reply back to you because I can actually talk to you. You've got to do all the typing. Here's me sitting down starting to type something. I wonder, well, of course, that's if you can hear me. Well, obviously, from that response, you can hear me. Yeah. Now I'm just trying to work out if I can actually change the camera on this while it's running. It didn't want to work. I was using Minicam before and it didn't want to work. So let's have a little look. Obviously that in stream, that's the microphone. Oh, no, that muted everything. No, I'm not using OBS. I'm just using the YouTube live stream function. I think you got to use OBS if you want to use like a peer in. Have you used OBS? Have you? I've got it here, but I've never actually used it. Oh, I might have to try and give OBS a go. Set it up to, because I wouldn't mind using a peer in rather than this, because I can change cameras and share screens and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. camera works a bit better. Yeah, well, I've got to get something set up to record and do that streaming when we do the clinics. So I've got to get this OBS working, I guess. Are you going over to the YouTube model builders? Ah, okay. Yeah, I might go over there later on, see what's happening. Or I'll see you in the Aussie Appear In room if you want. Hey, Gaffer, how are you? Yes, I just had to realise before I don't actually have to type the response in on this. I can actually talk to people. It just means I've got to do a lot of reading, that's all. Yeah, might do that if you want to, Andrew. We'll go over to the Appear In room, then we can all see each other. Have you been there before, Gaffer? Oh, you're quite welcome to come over if you want to. Okay, it's let me just start up this other screen here and I'll get you the link. I'll put it in the comments here. Hey, Rodney, how are you? There you go, Gaffer. That's the link. There's usually a bunch of Aussie modelers in there each evening. And the beauty with the Appear In rooms is we can see each other, but you can share screens as well. So if you got photos or something, you know, something of a modelling interest. Oh, there's 4 people in here now. So, geez, I wish I could change this. Okay, what's happening here? Okay, so here we go. Oh dear, there's 3 here now. I think there's one person tried to get in the Appear In room. So, who we got here now? We got Rodney, yeah. I saw a bit of Rodney's stream before. Oh, there's another one dropped into the appear-in room. I can't go there at the moment because the camera and everything is obviously hooked up with live stream and it doesn't want to let me across. So, okay. Well, as I said, this is just a test to make sure everything actually works. So next time we'll actually have to have something here we can have a look at. See if we can get a few more people in. Because we've got a couple of little secrets here. Anyway. Oh, there's another one in the chat. Hi, Mike. It's a Saturday afternoon chat here, which I guess is an early Sunday, Friday night chat over there. Okay. Yeah, late Friday. It's 20 to 2 on Saturday afternoon here. So been doing a bit of work in the train room. I wish I could change these cameras while we're actually live, but I don't think you can. I think I've got to use Minicam or something else. There's about 4 cameras in this room. I can move it around and see different parts of the layout. But it's an Australian-based layout. It's based on Melbourne in 1983, so, and it's going to be triple deck eventually. Yeah, let's see if I can change. What does this do? Okay. Alright, so that's just to share it. So that there is the microphone mute. So there's no way of changing the camera while it's actually running. No, no, definitely doesn't work. Okay, so I'm going to have to use Minicam or something else like that. So I might try and see if I can start Minicam, because I had it running before, but it wouldn't let me into the or go live. So I don't know whether Minicam doesn't like YouTube. I might have to use OBS or something else. So I might have a little look at that and see if I can change that around. Hold something up close to the camera. Hello, Tom. How are you? Something close to the camera. Okay. Yes, this is the first time I thought I'd try one of these live streaming things, and I was a bit of a test session, I suppose you might say. A little blurry. Let's see, this camera isn't too good here. Let's see if that got any better. So yeah, so this is, as I said, I was saying this is the layout. This is Melbourne '83, which is at the moment is just a collection of photographs laid around a bunch of bench work. There you go. Yes, one of the new SDS models, the old Ampol 10,000 gallon fuel oil tankers. So yeah, we're going to have part of Coody Island here, which is the well, it was the Ampol depot in Shell, became the Shell and BP depot in Melbourne. So what have we got here? Yes, circular 1980, the year of the mullet. That particular piece of rolling stock is probably 1960s era, so it's got to be heavily weathered. So I've been watching Ralph Renzetti's videos on weathering. So I was actually at a buy and sell the other day, and I bought a whole box full of old pieces of rolling stock. So it's time to start practicing and see if I can master some of his techniques, and then I've got all this rolling stock to hit afterwards. Naturally weathered, yes. So yeah, I was just playing around before. As I said, I've got a number of cameras around the room, and I was using Minicam, but it doesn't look like Minicam wants to work with the YouTube live streaming. So that link, Andrew, is up further in there. I'll put it in again. Hang on a tick. There you go. There's the link to the Australian Appear In group. So that's another one for you, Tom. Yeah, the microphone I'm using is supposed to be a professional microphone, but it was $32 on AliExpress. So everybody seems to say it works all right, but I think it buzzes every now and again if I actually touch it. So. But it's not a Shure or a Sennheiser or anything of any reputable brand. Not for $32, including the stand. Catch you later, Rodney. No, the microphone's a standard mic into a 3.5mm plug. It goes into the mic socket on the back of the computer. I do have a small little mixer here, a little Yamaha. Used to be off a 4-track system I had years ago, and I've been thinking about hooking that up. And because when I'm on the other side of the room, you can't hear anything out of this microphone anyway. But Yeah, but there's a number of cameras. If we could get those going, it'd be good. Yeah, no, yeah, I've never tried a USB microphone. I think I've stayed away from them because I've got that many things plugged into USB in the back of this poor little computer as it is. But yes, as I said, I was trying to use Manycam before so I could control all the cameras here. But apparently YouTube doesn't like that. It wouldn't go live when I had that selected. But when I selected just a camera on its own, it would. But the problem is then I can't change the camera to the one on the workbench here, and I've got a couple around the room on different parts of the layout. So, but we'll get there. And I guess we'll have to think of some kind of subject for this show. So it might be just the actual building of the layout. The camera I've got that's on the desktop here is one of those iPivo Ziggy document cameras, which is USB straight into the computer. I think if I go out and start another live stream and select that camera or each individual camera, it'll work fine. It's just that I need to select, like Manycam's a program that is like a video mixer basically, where I can bring the three cams in and click an icon and transition between each one of them. But I think with this, you've actually got to stop the stream, select another camera, then restart the stream again. Yes, yeah, you'd have to do it individually and live stream each one. Unless I can get this Manycam to work. I'm sure I had it working the last time I tried this, but anyway, we can give it a go. But it's always worth a challenge. But anyway, let's have a little look around the back here. Yeah. So the layout goes into the back here. It's as I said, double decked. You can kind of see it here. We got one level down the bottom. The swing part door that closes, and then this will be the top deck, the middle deck, and then round the back here is where the third deck will go. The main station is going on the middle deck, and it's actually going to be Sunshine Station. It's not going to be Flinders Street or Spencer Street, which are the two primary stations in Melbourne, basically because the shed's not big enough to really do them justice. So I picked one of the larger suburban stations, Sunshine and Richmond. And then the third deck is the suburban network, and that's got three suburban stations on them, which will be Boronia, Bayswater, and Belgrave, the triple Bs. But Richmond's interesting because the old Richmond station was actually on a curve, and it was basically metal frame construction because it ran over the top of Punt Road. You're basically right opposite the MCG there. So, and that's the other thing I've been toying with is backdrops. We've been having a bit of a play around here. My brother-in-law works for Warner Brothers Movie World, and he's a video technician. And we're thinking about doing active backdrops. So the backdrops, there'll be data projectors, 3 data projectors in the room, and if you bring the back buildings back up off the wall and keystone the heck out of the image, you can get it to shine down behind the buildings, and so therefore have animated backdrops. So when we get a storm come through, you'll actually see the storm clouds come and move across the layout room, initiating the thunder, lightning effects and the likes. Other things like flocks of birds taken off, aircraft coming into land at Tullamarine. Yeah, so we're thinking about, and so he's been putting some images together and some video, and then we've got 2 projectors here, so we've been setting them up and then setting some making a mock-up of the back scene, and then seeing if we can get the image to fall behind the back scene. That's the big problem at the moment. Yeah, storms will be. I mean, in summer in Melbourne, yeah, storms are every day at 5 o'clock. I'm on the Gold Coast in Brisbane. Yeah, in Runaway Bay, in on the Gold Coast. So I'm not exactly in Brisbane. G'day, John. You're here as well now. Well, there's a few dropped in. Yes, it'll be a lot different to the times that your grandfather used to be here. One of the clubs that the club I'm involved with on the Gold Coast here, one of our pet projects is we've got a travelling layout of the old Southport railway station that they used to have here. It used to run up to Brisbane. You used to be able to catch the train. They pulled it up in the 60s, the 1960s. So yeah, we've got a scale model of the station and the yards and the approach, which we take out to shows as well. Again, runs all digital, runs on a Raspberry Pi. So you just take the layout in your mobile phone and you can run trains. Yes, lots of whiting down here. My father-in-law's got a boat and he's always out fishing. And we get we get plenty of flathead and whiting off him and mud crabs. But yes, we've done quite a bit of history on the line. We've actually traced. There's a few tunnels still left that used to be there, and yeah, there's still fish here, but it's nothing like it used to be. Even we moved here in the late '80s, and from then till now, you can notice a huge difference. This is a big city now with millions of people living here. When we first moved here, it was a quiet little sleepy town. Yep. Yeah, Tom, Andrew here, he's up in Noosa. He lives just between Noosa and Tewantin. Yes, well, yeah, originally when we first came to Australia, I ended up in Melbourne. So I grew up in the late 70s, early 80s in Melbourne. So that's why the layout was Melbourne, because it's the trains I used to catch to school and on excursions and the likes. Oh, there you go. Noosa is a suburb of Tewantin. I thought Tewantin was a suburb of Noosa, but then again, I'm on the Gold Coast. Since the 70s, yeah, we arrived in Melbourne in the 70s. No, was it 76? We arrived in Melbourne. Before that, it was Durban in South Africa. Yeah, it's been pretty cold up here as well, Gaffer, for subtropical climate. It's been about 18 degrees C today, or what's that, about 64 or something in Fahrenheit. So yeah, I think winter is set in here now. But it's all right. I've only got about 5 weeks, and I head to the States, so I'll be heading to summer. Yeah, well, 18 degrees C to us is freezing. Where am I going to be? I'm going to the NMRA convention in Kansas City. So we'll be there from the 3rd of August to the 18th of August. Then we're going to Las Vegas. Well, not really Las Vegas. We're arriving in Vegas, and then we're picking up a rent-a-car and heading to Ely and Caliente in northern Nevada. Do some rail fanning and go on the Nevada Northern Railway. Then we come back and we head to LA, and we're in LA for only a couple of days, I think, and then we're on a ship for a 2-week cruise up to Alaska, and then back again, and then back on the Silver Bird and head back home. It's a pity you're not coming to Kansas, Tom. I would like to catch up with you there, but unfortunately, I got mixed up with the AML network, so I reckon I'm going to be attacked by them. Especially being I love ketchup on my hot dogs, and yeah, apparently that doesn't cut it with them. So yeah, and we're heading back to LA to fly out back to Australia. Another 14 hours in the Great Silver Bird. Yeah, so you have to get up here, Tom. You come around and check out the mirth and mayhem round here. By that time, we should have this up and running. There's an N-scale layout inside. There's a carnival layout here as well that I take to shows. There was G gauge, but I had to make a sacrifice with that. I was informed that the remainder of the front yard that someone wanted a pool installed, and yeah, there was to be no trains associated with said pool. So I got rid of all the G gauge stuff that I've had, and yeah. But no, we'll be having op sessions here, and eventually it's the aim in this layout here that we're going to have op sessions with people from either interstate or overseas. So you'd be anyone's quite welcome to drop in. I'll tee you up. You'll actually be driving the trains through JMRI via the web, and you'll be teed up with a conductor who's going to be with you, and he'll do the cutting of the cars and bits and pieces here, and tell you to go forward or go backwards or whatever. And And there'll be a number of cameras in the layout, so you'll actually be able to see the trains and change the cameras and move around the layout. So yeah, so hopefully we can have an international op session. But anyway, I should keep all that for when I speak to you next on your show. So Gaffer, we're not cold enough here in Adelaide. So you're heading to the snow because you're not cold enough, hey Gaffer? Yeah, I've seen photos of snow. I reckon it looks pretty good. Apparently where I was born is pretty prone to snow. Catch up with you soon, Tom. And yeah, let us know when your next show's on. I should go over and check the website, and I might catch up with you then. See ya. So Gaffer's heading to the snow. Which snowfield are you going to, Gaffer? You've been informed that the closest. Well, with a bit of luck, if it gets too cold, Mount Dandenong might be the closest. G'day, Dan. How are you? We thought we'd try out this live stream thing and see what happens. So you're going to stay inside when you go to the snow, Gaffer? Just let the kids run around outside and stay inside next to the warm fire at Mount Hotham or whatever. Mount Lye. So what do you model, Gaff? Do you model N-scale or HO? Ah dear. Well, this seems to work all right. Oh, there's 6 people been in here so far. So next thing we'll have to do is get these cameras sorted out. Oh, in a warm car, locked out. So you reckon it could be N-scale, Dan? Oh no, I reckon Gaffer. I reckon you'll probably be a HO modeler. YouTube timing my messages. N-scale, there you go. So did you go to the N-scale convention that was on what in Adelaide? Was it last year, wasn't it? Yeah, last year. It's thinking you're going to get RSI from typing too much. Oh, it's a pity. I was down there doing a couple of clinics. Tell you what, we went and looked at, what was it, that one club layout that had the exhibition layout, Portland, in N-scale down there. That's a sensational little layout, that. Have you seen it? It's a pity I can't, yeah, it's a pity in this YouTube thing you can't, share like other screens or images or the like. So yeah, I might have to go and have a bit of a play around and go over to the YouTube guys and ask Andy or Johnny about this OBS. I might have to set that up, and that way I can change cameras, and then I can share screenshots and photos and bits and pieces up on here. So. Yeah, well, I might have seen you there because I was down there at that time. Well, I was down at the convention, the N-Scale convention in Adelaide. Yeah, Andrew, I'll have to have a word with you later on over in the Appear In room and set this OBS thing up and see if I can use that. Because if I can use that and Minicam or even Minicam would be better, then I can actually change the cameras and go to screenshots and all the rest of it. So, but today was just a test to see if the thing actually worked. And it took me about 20 minutes to work out how to make it work. So I might try and do something on a regular, maybe on a Sunday afternoon, Australian time, which will be Saturday night over with friends across the ocean. So. But anyway, well, I might close this down now. What have we been going for? It's been going for 42 minutes. It's the longest test in history. And it says there's 5 people here. Oh, look, and there's 3 likes as well. That's not too bad for a first bash. Anyhow, like I said, I think we'll wind this up. Plus my coffee cup has gone empty. So I'm going to go and make a cup of coffee. Do you want to meet over in the Australian Appear In room, Andrew? Yeah, Gaffer, we might try something on a Sunday afternoon, which will be Saturday night for the Americans. Okay, well, I'm going to leave here and go over to the Aussie Appear In room. And we might catch you all later on. Hooroo!